developing for a while. It's basically the Klaus family, the Sweet family, and Jerome Orphis, who runs the Thunder Bay Golf Course there.
Eagle Bridge. Eagle Bridge Golf Course.
Yeah.
Sorry, but.
Yeah, that's okay. Hey, I don't live over there, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's understandable.
It all has to do with mainly the school property over in Curtis Township. Things that I've read and been shown and been told, various and sundry articles that have been in the paper, are indicators that there were some improprieties in regards to the purchase, sale, rent, etc. of the actual school property, and eventually right now, Christopher Klaus owns it. And that's a fact. But apparently, when I went over to Curtis Township to basically let them know that we were not running a candidate because Gary Griffith was the person that Christopher Klaus and John Mose were the two that basically did the recall. And the only reason they actually started doing the recall was because they managed to get a guy by the name of Gary Griffith to run for supervisor. Now, Gary Griffith is a conservative, but he did not want to run as a Republican. He wants to run NPA because there is a Democrat contingent over in Curtis Township that they've had a problem with. Knowing all of this information, basically my goal was to go over to Curtis Township and say, we're not, to distance ourselves from Gary Griffith so that he could run without having a Republican monkey on his back, essentially. And apparently I stirred up a lot of feathers. And in one person's words, I opened up a can of whoop ass. And their trustee, Paul.
Brad Stanowitz.
Thank you.
I know you can't, but it's hard to know.
Yeah, you were anticipating.
And I'm not even sure I do it right.
Yeah, I know.
You do.
But he's labeled as a Republican. He's a trustee. He's the one who worked on the lease for the school property and stuff like that, and he had laid out I would have to say, poorly worded spiel on Facebook, basically a Facebook post that he posted to the Curtis Township Facebook page.
No.
No?
No.
Wasn't that? Was it
Never made it to that Facebook page.
Never made it that
Because I would have taken it down immediately. It was on his own Facebook page, and everyone saw it. And it was actually 2 posts, and it was horrible.
It was absolutely horrible. Basically, it slandered the Klaus family. It called Curtis Township Klausville. He was way in the wrong, and so that last little bit, I kind of ferreted him out, and he did say that he was going to resign. So at this point, we have a legitimate recall election. We have a candidate running for that spot. There will be a recall election May 7th over in Curtisville. And so hopefully that will run its course and Curtis Township can start to rebound from that, because that has really fractured the community over there. I felt so bad going over there and just I got a web response from Kevin Perry.
That would be me.
That would be you. And
that was done with a great deal of respect, I might say. I admire anybody with the courage an initiative to be a leader, so please don't take that the wrong way. But don't read it, these people will get
Yeah,
bored
no, I'm
with
not
that,
going
it's long.
I'm not going to read it because it is kind of long, but I was talking it over with my mom, who is often my sounding board, especially at night when I'm distressed and yelling at the dogs more than I usually do. And she said, you know what, it sounds like Curtis was suffering from a festering zit. It was just boiling and festering, and perhaps it was you being there that lanced that thing, and
No, it isn't
hopefully
gonna make any difference.
it didn't make any difference.
It's not gonna make a bit of difference in Curtis Township, it's gonna keep going, it was more my advice to a leader, Madam Chair. I think, I hold leaders up to a higher standard than private citizens. And especially in Curtis Township, because it is such a problem and there's so much misquotation and it's so confusing that it's just horrible, and so please don't. And I could sit here and tell you everything that you don't understand,
Yeah.
but these nice folks don't want to hear all our problems, and I don't want to air our dirty laundry.
It's very
I've been
complex.
going for 2 years, and it's just a pain. But that's all. I just please do a lot of homework, a lot of networking. When you level an allegation, make sure you back it up adequately so that you demonstrate your expertise, and that's all. I mean, I've seen a lot of leaders, and you'll be a great leader, but it's just a wee bit of advice is all, ma'am.
Okay.
And if that's all right, then I might.
They say politics is local, it doesn't get much more local than a local township.
Well, my incentive is, I've got the Facebook page, and this all comes from poor communication. Now, we're a poor county township. They didn't have the Facebook page, we had lost our community news, and so we've been working to enhance our ability to communicate as a township for over 2 years. But we're not there yet. And misunderstanding leads to problems, right? And this is just a reflection of, and we're working on it. So give us time. Here?
Yeah, if I might, Curtis is in my
Yeah,
district.
I know. Yeah.
I guess the thing I ask, please, is they've got enough that they're gonna have to heal from.
I know.
We don't need to, I guess one question I'm gonna ask you, Terry, and I'm not trying to call you out here. Did you talk to Paul personally, or
I did not talk to him personally.
and privately? Because I guess because whoever gets that job, I'm gonna still have to deal with. And I guess they need to still heal the whole county, because originally the first recall,
Right.
there were 2 Republicans getting recalled too. They were recalling the clerk and they were recalling Paul. This is the second attempt at the recall.
This started a long time ago.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
And Paul
oh,
wasn't
yeah.
even on the board when all this started, so you can't recall him. So there's been a lot of emotional things going on. People haven't done their homework, and it really contributes to a mess.
The main thing that I went there, that second part of the conversation should probably
Was
not have taken
spontaneous.
place. It was spontaneous.
Yeah, I know.
And the main reason for me going over there was to distance ourselves from Gary.
Which is
Gary
understandable.
Griffith, sorry.
Oh.
Which,
Not this Gary!
and that's, I wish him the best of luck. I've heard a lot of things about Darrell Kenyon, not only recently, but in the past, from various and sundry people that I've spoken with at the county level. I don't live over there. I don't really know. We don't have a lot of people over there. We don't have any precinct delegates over there. We don't have people from Curtis Township that come to our meetings on a regular basis. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, but
Yeah, you won't be here.
I
Yeah.
have enough to do, but
Yeah,
I
you know
mean,
what,
the trouble
we all
is, the rumor mill is so unreliable. And I'll tell you, both Daryl and Paul, while they may not be the most personable gentlemen I've ever met, are very effective at what they do. Yeah, the truth is, I've been watching this very closely for over 2 years, and has he done any improprieties? I would have, that's a gray area. And I know Open Meeting Act, and I know a lot about, so I'm middle of the road all the way. I don't know, so.
Okay.
That's for what that's worth, but I can understand the first part of what you did there, and it has a role.
Because this right here, this is what I have been reading and researching, have been told and emailed and communicated with. This is what I have to go on for all of this stuff.
The only problem with that, it's only the angry people that take the initiative to mail stuff. You ever notice that? It's never anyone that goes, all is good.
Yeah.
I think we just wanted to let people know that we had a candidate over there that was endorsed by the Republican Party.
That was not endorsed.
Well, or that had our endorsement.
We have not endorsed, nor are we running a candidate.
Well, at the time at that meeting time, it was too late anyways. For you to submit a candidate.
The deadline was 4 o'clock that
4:30. Yeah.
4:30 that day.
So I know.
But, I just wanted the community to know that we're not, we're not
You're not
puppet. We're not working on, we have nothing to do with Gary Griffith being a supervisor,
Well, and you're not supporting either candidate, and I think that's why.
Well, I wouldn't support a Democrat.
Well, that's true too.
That would never happen.
Yeah, that's true.
We've censured people for supporting
But Paul
Republicans.
was a Republican, and now we lost him, and so it's unfortunate. So, but there's enough blame going around. That bothers me. So just when you come back, just be careful.
You want me to come back?
By all means. I know it'll be different next time. And so, no, you serve a very valuable role, and it's appreciated. It's just very hard to be a leader because everyone's watching you, and most of the time they're more than ready to criticize you. So just take it as advice more than criticism.
I would have to say, and you can take this back to Daryl if you want, but I really did kind of feel bad for him when he actually talked about how much good and how much hard work he does. I know being a supervisor, I know working these township positions. They don't pay a living wage or anything like that. So
are you kidding? We get $30,000 a year. Do you not read the Alcona? Until you read it carefully and find out that's what everybody makes.
Yeah.
Well, just to be sure, I'm not on either side of this. I work with Daryl and I work with Paul because of the committees I'm on. And when you're working with them, it's not a good policy to alienate people. So middle of the road for me works. So,
don't shit where you sleep.
and when I want to voice my opinion, I do it in the voting booth. So, because to do it outside in the public in Curtis Township
sometimes
makes you totally ineffective.
Politically speaking, sometimes there are certain movers and shakers that get things to go in the right direction.
Well,
hopefully it's the conservative direction. I probably should not have had that little second.
well, dereliction of duty would have been the wrong accusation. I could see violation of the OMA at some point, but it was all, at least in that case, it was voted on legally. And actually, the numbers Paul was talking about never came up for a vote. It was numbers that went out in a letter that Daryl wrote. So it's just academic. It's in the past.
Okay.
I'm done. I'll shut up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was one of the areas of contention, yeah?
Hi, my name's Harley Hopp. I used to be a trustee, and for health reasons I had to drop out. We'll just call it that. I'm 78 years old. I'm not going into a matter of strife. I appreciate you folks for being Republicans and that you will not vote Democratic. Let's put it that way. I'm not middle of the road. I'm ultra right-wing. I'm a capitalistic, patriotic constitutionalist. My loyalty is to God, family, and country. My health gets a little better. I will be back in the political field. At that time, I will research, and I think you can get a feel of what I'm saying, of which political party I will be affiliating with. Right now, I'm NPA, and I lost 2 elections because I ran NPA. Yeah. Paul beat me out. I like Paul. I respect him. He's a good man. Kevin was right. Kevin and I have become real good friends. I thank Kevin for bringing me here tonight. And I appreciate what you've had to say. And you are a good chairperson. And I want everybody here to know, do not look ill on her for her stance. We all fall short of the glory of God. We all make mistakes. And when somebody will actually admit to a shortcoming like she has tonight and speak up of it, I admire her and respect her for it. And you will hear more from me in the community, I assure you.
More positive things.
And it'll be positive.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Here.
Can we move on? Yeah, we're gonna, we've got just a few things left. And I was going to give these to Marilyn. If anybody would like a copy of these, I think what I'm going to do is every night I'm going to make every meeting I am going to make up a copy of both the Republican and Democrat Party. And if anybody wants them, there's going to be 1 copy to be given away in a set.
What is the charge for those?
I can email it, you can print it out.
Actually, anybody could go online, just
anybody
download
can go
it.
online and download it. But that's one of the things that I was going to do. I was going to send out an email with links
You just
to
look
both
it up and
platforms.
download
And
it.
you can download it directly from either the RNC website or the DNC website.
Why don't you put a link on your webpage?
I
So they can
can.
access it, it'll enhance traffic on your webpage. Just a thought.
Yeah,
Right.
you could
Right.
put a link on there to it, right?
See, not just a pretty
And
face.
see, yeah.
I did more than press a button for me. See?
My website definitely needs to work. I need to sit down and do some website enhancements. So this is one of the things that I'll probably add to that.
Maybe you could just send us the link for now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be nice. Okay.
You got a question?
Both links?
Yes, how much would a copy of those be for me?
I can download them for you.
Oh,
I
you
can
can?
find them, I'll download them.
There's going to be 1 copy at each of our meetings. First come, first served. If you want it, you got it.
Better come get it.
No.
Maybe you should walk it to him.
Yeah, sit down. Sit down. He's
Oh,
bringing
that's
it.
all right.
Yeah, so we don't put them up over the camera.
Thank you very much, I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Careful of the camera.
This will start a fire.
No, it's worth reading.
But it'll be read first,
No, you know what? And when you're done with it, pass it out.
Not out.
Okay.
What's the cliche, know your enemies?
Yeah, no, you're in, exactly.
Some Sioux are the war.
Yes.
So the
You
other
put
few
your
things, the
contact
other handouts, and I didn't even do the, well, we'll have to jump over attending the township meetings. We kind of discussed that, we would like you guys to attend your township meetings. there's also, and I'll send this out to everybody as well.
That's last year's.
That's last year's. She
2 years
doesn't have the
ago.
new one. Does she have the new one? Did she do the new one?
Well, see, this is the one that came out afterwards, and the new one's coming out after the recall.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. So these are the county directories. Inside the county directories are not only the county level, but all the township level stuff. So it tells you at the township level when they have their meetings and the number that you can call to find out exactly what time, because certain times, certain counties, yeah. Yeah, she usually has them, the county clerk usually has these, but it's also on their,
Be kind when
on
you
the
go to the
website.
clerk's office, they
Yeah.
are short-handed.
I know,
Did
I
you
know.
see the newbie they got?
I did not see the newbie. I was actually, the last time I was there, it was to get the dog licenses and
The
Stephanie
newbie is
actually-
Patty Truman, you might have heard.
I did not hear that she was back.
She's back temporarily.
Okay. They needed her, obviously. They pulled her out of the, retire. Ah, no. One of those things. Okay.
Hey Carrie?
Yeah?
You're wrong on your marijuana thing. Millen and Curtis are also not in.
Millen and Curtis have opted out. See, here's the thing though, they should probably file with LARA, which is the Licensing and Regulatory Affairs for Michigan. And their listing and their list was updated. This is the other thing that we're talking about here. So,
Lots of luck if you need it.
okay, so the third little sheet that I stapled to everybody's packets, first of all was the agenda, second of all was the calendar of events. The calendar of events, I've got most everything written in there. There's a few dates that I don't have lined up yet. And one of the things that we needed to come up with were the adopt a highway dates. We can probably set,
May.
we can probably set May, the May one while we're here. And see, that's why I said probably the 11th.
That's what I think.
You think the 11th?
10 o'clock.
So the time is still going to be the same, 10 a.m.
You know
Little
what
Road,
Call
but-
Lake Road is?
Yeah.
Where?
No, the gentleman next to you.
Oh, no, I don't get out much.
Oh, you don't?
You don't know. It's-
I'm a practicing hermit, I'm sorry.
We do out on 65 north of the 72-mile split there.
Okay,
McCollum Lake Road is up there 4 or 5 miles. We do between there and Bug Road.
2 miles.
We actually have a sign out that says adopt a highway, the Alcona County Republican. 2 miles one way, 2 miles
I
back.
think that's a great thing to do.
So we are going to make that May 11th. That'll be that one. We'll discuss the others later on.
Yep.
The third handout that I did for y'all was the current legislation to look out for in March of 2019. There are several things that have popped up. I either get from our Facebook page, people will comment on certain things when I share it. Things that have gotten a lot of comments. Like I'll get comments via our contact us on the website. 3 main things have popped up over the past, actually several months. The first of which is the national popular vote. This thing is starting to get really dangerous. It actually started in 2006. And it's an ongoing, it's very much like Article 5 Convention of States, whereas it doesn't matter how long it takes, as long as it builds up to a certain level. Like with Article 5 Convention of States, we want to fix Washington by gathering the states together to discuss 3 topics: fiscal responsibility, scope and jurisdiction of the government, and term limits. As soon as we reach that 38 state threshold, they call a convention. Well, this is a state compact that these states are basically engaging in. It pools together all their electoral college votes, And right now, 13 states adding up to 181 electoral college votes. If they get to 270, the electoral college is basically useless. Rural America will cease to exist, essentially. We will be silenced. We will not have a vote. And see, this is one of the things that, as I wrote in here, you know, talk with your people, tell them about the Electoral College, what good it does, tell them about this national popular vote, so that if they hear anything about it, they can also refute it. It's this telephone game that we play on down the line, and hopefully it's the same message in the end, which is vote no on NPV, vote no on the national popular vote. The other thing that I wanted to point out was auto insurance reform. Legislation has been introduced by Representative Shepard, who is in Temperance. He lives in Temperance, Michigan, which is the 58th district, 56th district. And he's just introduced the House bills. It's a series of 6 bills that will basically eliminate no fault and turn that over into tort reform. It just now started, so it's just something to keep your eyes peeled for. The red flag gun laws, I put those in there because I have been getting a lot of questions about that from Facebook users. Yes.
I want to step back real quick,
Okay.
back to the, this whole idea about the electoral, yes. One of the things, when we had our executive meeting, I was proposing that we extend an arm back downstate to the Tri-County area. A lot of folks that live up here are transplants from there. We still have family, we have friends. This is why it's so important, because they're not going to see it as we're looking at it from the rural, but they'll understand it. I mean, a lot of the people that still live down there, their dream is to live up here. You know, they don't want to become irrelevant. So, I mean, I think that's where it's another reason why we need to keep that bridge open down there and reach the politicians down there. Invite them to come up and share ideas. And for this reason, if nothing else. So I just wanted to point that out because we were discussing that at that other meeting.
Yeah, Kevin.
Madam Chair, if I might suggest, you're talking about everyone teaching people about it. Well, where I come from, my past, we did what was called train the trainer. And so what I would suggest is there's a couple of very good videos on the internet.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Put a couple of hot links on there so that the people can understand it completely and they can make a valid argument to teach their friends and family about this, because it's a very complex issue. And,
it is.
And so you've got to be very effective when you communicate this.
Right.
How's that?
Excellent. Excellent.
It's
I've
gonna,
actually been approached.
yeah, same, yeah.
I told them no, wasn't interested in having an offer.
Oh my gosh, unreal. Anyways, the red flag gun laws. So this page that I printed out and attached to the agenda is something that I'm going to try to do for each meeting. Yeah, Gary.
I'm sorry, but I really want you to go down to number 2, because I'm going to tell you that is the worst one of all.
Okay.
I have been watching the Civil Rights Commission.
Oh yeah.
I know the players in this game. I have seen what is going on. The best article I found online was the SPLC points.
Yep.
Michigan shoots. I have talked to Sue. She sent me a copy of the governor's budget. There is $7.5 million in this budget. I have called Sue and asked her, well, this is proposed budget, because you remember, she puts forth her budget.
Right.
Right.
And Sue sent me the page. There's $7.5 million that they are asking for on this thing. So what I'm going to tell you is, you know, our House rep is the chairman of appropriations. Now, I'd be happy to see this thing funded at $1, and that's all they need.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, you need to, if you're gonna call Sue, this is one to call her on and tell her defund it, and if you want, I will send you a copy of the page she sent me, but I called her Saturday morning, and I says, this is scary.
Yeah. What Gary's talking about is point 2, and also something to know is AG Dana Nestle's thought police. Seriously, this is the Southern Poverty Law Center, which started out as a good thing, but then the Democrats got a hold of it, and now it's this Nazi regime that says essentially if you disagree with us, you're a hate group. And it's obviously left-leaning liberal Southern Poverty Law Center. And so they've come up with this list of groups and individuals who are haters. And Dana Nestle wants to use that list as a jumping off point to, and this kills me. She's appointed Augustin Arbulu as the director, and he has stated 2 things. So the database will document hate and bias incidents that don't rise to the level of a crime, and they want to be proactive and address issues before they rise to the level of a crime.
He told, the Attorney General sat on the Civil Rights Commission. The Civil Rights, the Attorney General had warned them twice under Bill Schuette that they were not to revise gender in Michigan. That's something that belongs to the legislature, not to the Civil Rights Commission. And he basically told the guy, he said, well, I guess if you want us, if you don't like what we're doing, then take us to court. And the guy looked at him and said, well, wait a minute, you know, we're the ones that represent you legally, and you're telling us we got to take you to court? Yeah.
This whole thing stinks to high heaven. So anyways, you guys can look this over. I think if you guys come across legislation or anything like that that you want us to look further into, please contact me. I've got my phone number there. I prefer email. I love to have everything in writing. Or on video. And this is something that's going to happen every month. We're going to have a list of laws, rules, regulations, various and sundry things that we need to keep our eyes peeled on, and these are talking points. And hopefully this will give you enough information that you'll either be able to research validly on your own, or that you will have enough talking points to where you can go to your neighbor, know what you're talking about, feeling confident about what you're talking about, and getting, the more people we can get to contact our legislators and say, hey, no red flag laws, which here in the state of Michigan, they're called extreme risk protection orders by the Democrats. Sounds so wonderful, doesn't it? Their plays on words is really something that just chafes me. And the other thing that I put in here was the marijuana opt-out. I'm not going to worry about that too much because things are going so slowly. You're really not going to see a